pretty stacked pod. And here are the players.
And here we go.
6-0 as well. Lovely old job.
Yeah.
And the first Enigma versus Zen that we've seen today. So.
Definitely. First Zen we've seen on camera at all today.
That's true.
Which is, I think, a refreshing change of pace based on...
Saving it all for tomorrow, my friend.
Definitely. Some of the other nationals coverage. We're expecting to see a good amount of Zen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the last undefeateds left. Let's see who can hold on to that crown as we get into this game. Mm-hmm. So once again, we're looking at Anton showing up with, that full equipment suite that did him so well in the previous draft. Andrew opting, having 2 equipment here, but one of them is those Strides of Reprisal, phenomenal to work with. Mm-hmm. And again, Anton's got a great start here. He's got an instant speed aura that he's playing out right off the jump like we saw in his previous game.
And this is a blue matters card as well, isn't it? If you've done a blue, you get a spectral shield, or is it when it dies? I can't remember.
When it dies, you get a spectral shield.
I see.
So, Anton's probably looking to, certainly prepared, finding an excuse to pitch a blue. You get 2 spectral shields off the back of it. That's, phenomenal board that you've developed there.
So coming in with a Harmony of the Hunt. This is a 3 attack, which creates a tiger.
Because he's pitched the blue as well.
He's pitched the blue. That's the one. That's the one.
So it's, one of the better starters in Zen. Mm-hmm. It's that default starter that's phenomenal because it pairs so well with the cost curve on your Tiger Taming Kakara.
Absolutely.
You can do this for 3, Staff for 2, Tiger for 1. So on the back, it's a 2-card 6 at absolute base, and Andrew's got 2 more cards to work with to add a little bit more juice in here. And at this point, Anton's thinking, you've got your Waning Vengeances. Waning Vengeance is an aura that you're really happy to let block.
Yeah.
Rather, you're not necessarily looking to squeak as much offensive value out of it as possible.
And there'll be times as well. Is it if you've pitched a blue card when it dies, so you can actually get that spectral shield when you're defending if you'll play a blue card, yeah?
Yes,
you can.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So here we have that blue card pitch. The Tiger Taming Kakara is coming in. Mm-hmm. At this point, if you're Anton, you could let it hit, let that Waning Vengeance die. Exactly. Mm-hmm. It makes a spectral shield. That spectral shield might cover the tiger that follows it up.
Yeah. Cool.
Seems to be a decent enough pairing.
Yep. So the wash away is a defense reaction. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Cool.
And it's buffed up if you've played another blue card this turn. So it works super well with the Transcend cards.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think you're still getting a decent amount of value out of this if you're Anton because, okay, sure, it didn't get +2, but it basically got +1 because you've managed to make the spectral shield.
Exactly. Yeah.
On the follow up. So here's a Breed Anger. Phenomenal. Tiger came before it, so now it's got 4. It's got Go Again. I think this is one of the, unsung heroes of that common combo suite that Zen has between the Chi Unleashed, the Breed Anger, and the Pouncing Chi as well.
Yeah.
Because this one, it's not a turn ender, it's a turn extender. So this one does get the Go Again on it. It does cost that 1, but not much follow-up there. But, I think if you're either of these players, you're reasonably happy.
Beautiful Marvel Tigers, absolutely Pebble Hat.
Most definitely.
Thistle Tavern as well, Andrew from Thistle Tavern, one of the sponsors of the event today, so make sure you go and check them out when you can. Vendors can play as well, absolutely. Just a bit of counting going on here.
Yeah, so that Breed Anger made that tiger in the banish zone, so it got played out for 0. Just for a little bit of fun, I suppose, keep the banish zone tidy. It's not like a lot of those Mystic Ninja cards, because it's just a regular Ninja card, that make tigers in hand that you can arsenal and then get value of in future turns.
This one, utilize them there and then.
Yeah, now or never. Play it out for 0. It's a little bit fun. It makes the chain look a little bit longer. Always the dream of a Ninja player.
Oh, this is a good start. A Waxing Spectre pitching a blue. This is the one that comes in with a counter if you pitched a blue. So straight away coming in with Go Again, which is a nice little start.
It definitely is. 4 Go Again. You're going to have some type of follow-up here.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that follow-up is just that free Spectral Shield for 1,
You've established one of these weapons on board now that if they start blocking with it, that's where you're going to get a lot out of the game, right?
Definitely.
So,
and interesting to note here that, you've got your Ward 3 up with Waxing Spectre. Maybe you're happy to let that go. Mm-hmm. But Andrew doesn't have an arsenal. And when you're only playing with 4 cards instead of 5, sometimes it gets a lot harder to punch through some of those.
Well, it's a full card, isn't it?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. So you see a Battlefront Bastion just covering that up, and also the next 1 damage that's going to be coming through is also prevented.
It's the best way to cover up the weapon swing into the Tiger.
It really is, yeah.
So we'll see if Andrew can make one here, and if he does, if there's value in it. He certainly can.
Cool.
Playing a Harmony of the Hunt.
And to note, that one goes to hand because of the blue card pitched.
Correct. It's one of those Mystic Ninja cards.
Yep.
That, let you put it in hand, so when you're playing CC, you can banish it with Art of War if you want to.
There's quite a few of those, isn't there? Quite a few of those hunt cards, I think they're called, which do the same sort of thing. But yeah, Crouching Tiger for 1. Here we go. Again, nice cold foil representation.
Definitely.
There's another Bastion in hand there, and a Grave Keeping as well, I think. Yeah, that's...
And I mean, Companion of the Claw for 4.
What does this one do?
This is
red.
It's the 2-cost version of Harmony of the Hunt. So 2 cost, if you've pitched a blue, make a tiger in your hand.
Yeah.
So this tiger's made in hand, probably going to end up in the arsenal. But now Anton has to find a way to block this 4, probably. If it were 3, it'd be so easy. You just throw the other Battlefront Bastion in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do 3 and a piece of equipment. So it's 2 for Battlefront. The Kikoi...
1 for equipment and 1 for the prevention. Yeah.
Exactly. So the Kikoi isn't actually defending there. It's an instant that you destroy to then get an extra point of prevention. So it's blocking 2, preventing 2.
So, I mean, if you can craft your Enigma decks to really just make sure you cover up these little points of damage here and there, you can just keep this Waxing Spectre around for absolutely ages, which is what he's doing again here, with a potential follow-up with a 2 floating. I don't know what that could be at this moment in time.
I think it's a Gravekeeping that we saw earlier.
Oh, of course.
So
yeah.
4 damage into 5 damage off of 2 cards. 2 card 9.
Very
fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
That's brilliant in CC.
Again,
even better in draft.
You just don't want to block these auras with cards from hand because, it's going to get to that point though eventually. But yeah, this is a good one. This is a good follow-up. Choosing to banish a Breedanger with the Gravekeeping.
Yeah, you don't want to see that recurred with, with cards like Preserved Tradition.
Yep.
Or I was going to say Mask of Wizened Whiskers, but we can see that Andrew doesn't have that in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
But is otherwise, a good card to do that with. And when you do have that, you usually try to do it reasonably early if you're trying to transcend to make sure that things like this don't quite happen.
Yeah.
But Anton looks to be sitting pretty. He's got the life lead. He's got the Waxing Spectre on board. Andrew deciding it's, being forced to block. There looks to be a lot of blue in that hand, so maybe that extra 1 damage off of Tiger Form Incantation wouldn't quite have gotten him there.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging that the pure value of the equipment that Enigma can get out.
That is a solid turn, though. Sitting on an arsenal as well and just threatening that damage. Crazy.
And he's had it for a few turns as well. So I'm curious if it's an offensive card or a defensive card.
Mm-hmm. This is Untamed, I believe this one's called.
It is indeed. So when this attacks, the next tiger you play will get +1 power, which is a very good effect if you can make one. You guarantee that you get that buff. And Anton's hand seems to block a little bit awkwardly, but it is otherwise a very good hand. So maybe it is time to let
it fold.
Yeah, let the Waxing Spectre fold, rebuild, enjoy the life lead that you have, and cycle it back. Because this turn, Andrew does have that tiger that we know in his arsenal. So that'll be coming in
for a 2 and then a 1 afterwards?
For 2 and then a 2, because it gets the buff off of the Kakara and off the Untamed.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah. Which, if you're Anton, you're probably happy taking that damage. Right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you've decided you're not protecting your board. You've got plenty of stuff left. And there's that tiger for...
Should be for 2, right?
Unless we missed something on Untamed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to flick through the book that was given to me.
Have we confused an attacks and a hit effect? I don't think so.
Next crouch target you play is compensating is +1.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
the players
should have come in for 2.
Players have noticed, so
we'll see if it matters.
Yeah.
At this point, Anton's hand looks really good. Flesh and Blood is a game of inches where 1 life usually does matter, but we'll see.
Especially in these sorts of things as well. But we will see. It is a very commanding lead. And starting off with the blue Waxing Vengeance. That's going to be swung.
Yeah, so this is coming in for 3. You got that one resource floating. You really wonder what's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost guaranteed it's going to be the Uphold Tradition being flipped up.
Or maybe is it? Do we know if he's got an Astral Etchings yet? Because that can do the same sort of thing, right?
It can only be played at instant speed if you have a Spectral Shield.
Oh, I see.
So
right.
he'd have to jump through a lot more hoops of playing a blue and then transcending and then pitching for the chi and then making the shield and then using it. But yeah, so it is that Uphold Tradition, which turn your turn your Waning Vengeance into your Waxing Spectre, and then swing 7 damage right afterwards. Absolutely phenomenal.
That card is ridiculous, isn't it? Uphold Tradition.
It's a fantastic card, and it's the times when you play Enigma without it just feel so much clunkier.
Yeah.
Because it's made a massive difference on this hand, because otherwise your option would have been, I guess, make Waning Vengeance, I suppose, by pitching the second card, or use it to block on the other turn, but being able to play it, attack with it, and then follow it up with your big 7 damage finisher is phenomenal. So we're seeing Andrew come in with another Companion of the Claw here. Generally the less preferred of these Zen starters, because that 2 cost doesn't play too well with the Kakara, especially on these, not full 5-card hands where you're happy pitching 2 cards.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, 4 Go Again in draft is always going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of being able to pay for it, pay for the follow-ups, I should say.
What does the follow-up look like for Anton after this, then? He's got 3. That's 3 ward, isn't it, on board there? The Waxing Vengeance, Waning Vengeance. Here we go.
And he also has 1 off the Uphold Tradition.
Of course.
So we're preserving Tradition first to get that back into the deck, which will then transcend, which will then make the Moon Chakra. Preserve Tradition, I believe you have to grab an action card. So we're swapping out the Waxing Spectre for the action card there, the Battlefront Bastion. Not to be confused with the Illusionist Headfeast, which is just an aura, which can be a non-action aura. There's lots of little differences with the cards of this set that you got to keep track of. So that moon chakra is protecting 3 because we have transcended this turn as the blue, and the extra 1 off the Uphold Tradition.
So again, just squeezing all of the value out of those blocks in these situations is just absolutely pivotal.
Definitely
protecting that vengeance again, or protecting that aura again with these calculated blocks.
But we can also see he's got another red Waxing Spectre at hand, so maybe you're happy letting this one go as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe you want to commit to really building the board, because when Andrew's on 1 life, he's got Blade Break 1 on those boots. Maybe he's got 1 defense on the gloves. He probably has 1 defense on the gloves. But from this point forward, any break point that you can swing is worth so much more.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to pick and choose which breakpoints you swing when you have 16 life.
Very much so. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you get to choose, how much do I want to defend this Waning Vengeance? We're pitching the Inner Chi, so we're looking to double up on the effect of that Waning Vengeance. So now there is a blue in the pitch zone, so it will create a Spectral Shield when it leaves, which will cover that 1 damage coming in from the Tiger that is going to be... There it is.
Yeah, it's just so intricate, but just making sure everything is covered and having an aura which has Go Again on it still available to you on your follow-up turn.
Definitely.
Crazy.
And I think it's a moment like that where you're looking at Andrew's gloves and you think, that's probably not the generic Mystic one that just gives +1.
Yeah.
Because if it were, you'd want to flip it up there because then it also gives you a point of armor to cover the next breakpoint. So if you're Anton, you're thinking, okay, you've got a reasonable guess. You've just got to play around those breakpoints at this point. Battlefront Bastion is a great way to do that. Your armor is a great way to do that as well.
Coming in for 4 with Go Again on this Waxing Spectre, pitching a blue, so it's got a counter on it. One of the best ones, I think, in this deck. There we go. Here's the... That's just to prevent 1, isn't it? That one there that he's...
Yes, it is.
It's not no special if you're on 1 life situation. That is just prevent 1.
No. That's limited to the chests, which are very interesting, but I think everybody's quite low on them now.
Yeah.
But these things tend to be a little bit cyclical. Everybody's low on them now. You don't expect them. Maybe they get good in the future. Maybe they just stay bad. Who knows?
Exactly.
So here we have 3 Go Again. Fantastic starter, Biting Breeze. This one is, in another world, you might be debating, this is one of Zen's few on-hit effects. Do we let this hit? Will that tiger matter in the future? However, if you're Anton, you're not debating whether or not it hits. You're debating how to prevent the damage.
Yeah.
Right? So you're giving it 3 with the essence of body there. And then we're sending a fact-finding mission, 6 damage. That can be a little bit awkward to block when you're an Enigma. If you've already committed one of your 3 blocks. But that's why you put those defensive cards in Arsenal that Anton seems to have done.
Do we know what those defensive cards were based on... Oh, no, this is a brand new draft, isn't it, of course?
Yes, it is. So this is the first time we're seeing it. I think we may have been able to glimpse it before we put it in the Arsenal one time, but I didn't see it by the time it was in there, or I've just forgotten. It's the advantage of casting. You don't have to keep every single bit of information memorized.
Absolutely.
That's your player's spin. So we've got a big blue sky, which we're transcending. So that is...
Yeah, plus a drop in the ocean, which makes it -1.
Exactly. So
good.
The attack goes to -1. The big blue sky blocks for its base of 2, plus an extra 1 because that drop in the ocean was played as well. And we're also seeing the moon chakra come down for blocking with much more than enough.
That is ridiculous.
The 3 would have been enough, but because we've transcended this turn, we get the bonus on it as well.
Wow. And again, just showcasing how defending these pieces is absolutely pivotal to winning this.
Absolutely. And once you're now committed to blocking with your what would otherwise be a really nice go again attack to play. Anton's now just trying to do a little bit of the math, figuring out, well, I can only really attack once more this turn, but it seems to be enough. He gets the fist bump from Andrew.
Indeed. Wow.
Again, another just very well played game by Anton. Good discipline on holding back those blues to save them to transcend when you know you need to, using that arsenal really effectively. And honestly, just doing the best thing from the jump, which is have instant auras to play out from the jump.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a fantastic advantage, and if you can craft your deck, we saw 3 red Waning Vengeance over the course of that game. We saw 2 red Waxing Spectre over the course of that game.
We saw in effect Waxing Spectre of the Uphold tradition as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this deck was drafted very much find those instants, play those instants, and you can get into that really nice turn cycle of play the instant, attack with that instant aura, give it go again because it's a Waxing Spectre, or give it the +1 off of Uphold Tradition, and then swing again with some other attack, like we saw with that big Battlefront Bastion turn.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well played, Anton. Well played.
Absolutely.
Team Sigil.
Yes.
Absolute representation. Bunch of lovely guys in that team. But, even the chat were like, let's get Anton on again. He's an absolute beast, and rightly so with that showing.
If you had any questions on how to draft a pure play Enigma deck, I think, watching Anton play, definitely a good way to go about it.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal work.